What's going on? It's Anthony Bruno. The dust has settled on the 2021 free agent market, and we already have a pretty good idea of the direction all 32 teams are headed in next season. So which teams already look better than last year, and which teams are ready to regress? Here are our way too early 2021 NFL post-free agency power rankings. Let's go. Moving down from 31 to 32 is the Houston Texans. Sorry, but the Texans' free agent spending spree isn't going to be enough to convince Deshaun Watson to go back on his trade request. Houston did nothing to replace Will Fuller or J.J. Watt, and sure, Phillip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, Tyrod Taylor, and Desmond King were solid short-term adds, but they don't move the needle much, and even if Watson were to play here in 2021, the Texans are bound for another bottom 5 finish.
Started from the bottom, we still here.
Coming down 3 spots from 28 to 31 is the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers lost the crafty Curtis Samuel in free agency, and they haven't found their desired quarterback upgrade. Hassan Reddick was a great addition in free agency, but this is still a weak secondary and pass rush that needs a lot of work. Unless the Panthers land Deshaun Watson, 2021 already looks like another rebuilding year under Matt Rule. Remaining at number 30 is the Detroit Lions. Under no circumstances does losing Matthew Stafford and Kenny Golladay make your team better in the short term. The Lions need to undergo a serious rebuild if they want to return to relevance. Jared Goff probably isn't the long-term guy here, but the Lions scored a big-time haul in the Stafford deal with the LA Rams. Now, if only the new regime could just hit on some draft picks, something Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia consistently failed to do. Moving up from dead last to number 29 is the New York Jets. The Jets have had a great offseason. They brought a new head coach, Robert Saleh, and GM Joe Douglas did an awesome job finding guys who can fit his system in free agency. Saleh is quickly building up the type of defense he ran in San Francisco. The Jets landed pass rushing star Carl Lawson and serviceable veterans Gerard Davis and Sheldon Rankins. Not to mention they'll have CJ Mosley back following his 2020 opt-out. And Corey Davis supplies the Jets with another hopeful playmaking weapon for Zach Wilson? Justin Fields? Sam Darnold? We'll have to stay tuned to find out. The Philadelphia Eagles move up 1 spot from 29 to 28. Trading away Carson Wentz for an underwhelming package and shipping the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft suggests the Eagles are planning to rebuild, and it's probably the right move. 2021 will be devoted strictly to finding out if Jalen Hurts is the long-term option at quarterback. Aside from picking up safety Anthony Harris on a 1-year deal, the Eagles were mostly quiet in free agency. Down from 25 to 27 is the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons couldn't do much in free agency because of a difficult cap situation. They parted ways with Alex Mack, Todd Gurley, and Keanu Neal, and running back Mike Davis was the lone notable signing. The Falcons won't be awful next year because they still have Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones, but they aren't ready to contend again just yet. On a side note, they should definitely consider taking their quarterback of the future with the 4th overall pick. Still at number 26 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The fact the Jags are about to land Trevor Lawrence is the main reason why they're in the 26th spot here, even though they were the NFL's worst team last season. The Lawrence-Urban Meyer combination alone should give the Jaguars 5 to 7 wins next year. And it was smart of the Jags to avoid wasting big dollars in free agency. Veteran wideout Marvin Jones and cornerback Shaquille Griffin were scooped up on friendly, shorter-term deals. The Cincinnati Bengals move up to 25. 2020 breakout star Trey Hendrickson was the Bengals' big signing. Will he repeat his success from New Orleans? Only time will tell. One thing is for sure, these young up-and-coming Bengals will be a lot better in 2021. Joe Burrow will get better if the O-line holds up, and you know what would help that? Taking Penei Sewell 5th overall. Tumbling down from 17 to 24 in our power rankings is the Las Vegas Raiders. What are the Raiders doing? The offensive line was once a strong point for the Raiders, but not anymore after John Gruden inexplicably decided to cut ties with Rodney Hudson, Trent Brown, and Gabe Jackson. At least the Raiders bolstered their pass rush by adding Yannick Ngakoue. If he pans out, their defensive line might actually be a strength in 2021. The Chicago Bears moved down from 19 to 23. Their idea of upgrading the QB position was to sign Andy Dalton to a one-year deal. Did they bother watching him play at all the last couple seasons? Oh my goodness. They probably would have been better off just keeping Mitch Trubisky for another year. At least Allen Robinson didn't leave. Moving down from 20 to 22 is the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings had to upgrade their secondary, but we have doubts that Patrick Peterson is the answer at his age, and Xavier Woods isn't an upgrade from departed Viking safety Anthony Harris. Minnie has to address the defensive line in the draft. If they can hit on one or two of their selections, they could find themselves back in playoff contention. Next up is the Denver Broncos, moving up to number 21. New Broncos GM George Paton was sure a busy man. He brought back Von Miller and managed to land veteran corners Kyle Fuller and Ronald Darby in free agency. Paton also retained safeties Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson, so the Broncos defense should be close to a top 5 unit. They have a ton of skill position talent on offense too, but let's face it, their level of success will eventually come down to the play of Drew Lock, and that's not great to say the least. Coming in at number 20 is the Dallas Cowboys, moving up one spot from 21. Jerry Jones had to use his precious remaining cap space to re-sign Dak Prescott. That task is finally out of the way. The Cowboys' big addition was former Falcons safety Keanu O'Neal, who will make the move to linebacker. And if they can come away with Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, or Caleb Farley in the draft, it'll be a job well done. The Pittsburgh Steelers dropped 6 spots from 13 to 19. They cut standout cornerback Steven Nelson. The O-line took 2 massive hits, with Marquise Pouncey retiring and Alejandro Villanueva walking in free agency, and sack specialist Bud Dupree signed with the Tennessee Titans. 4 key starters gone, no significant additions whatsoever. They better hit the jackpot in the draft. Still at 18 is the Arizona Cardinals. AJ Green and JJ Watt were added on short-term deals, but will they make a significant enough impact to help Arizona get to the playoffs? There's no denying the talent on this roster. They could very well have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense next season, but they could also very well be the worst team in the very tough NFC West. Coming in at 17, moving down 2 spots, is the Los Angeles Chargers. Cutting standout corner Casey Hayward was a risky move, but we trust new head coach Brandon Staley to work around it. The Chargers found a suitable tight end in Jared Cook, but their big move was landing former Green Bay Packers All-Pro center Corey Linsley. He's going to significantly bolster the pass protection for Justin Herbert. A massive move up from the New York Giants from 23 to 16. Rather than move on from Daniel Jones, they decided to upgrade his supporting cast. Say hello to star receiver Kenny Golladay, speedster John Ross, and tight end Kyle Rudolph. Their stingy defense could be even better in 2021 too, if newcomer Adoree Jackson can bounce back and if Leonard Williams can build off a career year. Next up at 15 is the Tennessee Titans, down 4 spots from number 11. The Titans' high-powered offense lost 2 key weapons in wide receiver Corey Davis and versatile tight end Jonnu Smith, and they released defensive backs Kenny Vaccaro, Adoree Jackson, and Malcolm Butler. They overpaid big time for Bud Dupree, but Josh Reynolds and Janoris Jenkins were smart, low-risk signings. Maybe Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry mask the rest of the flaws and get this Titans team back to the playoffs, but right now the reigning AFC South champions look kind of vulnerable. Surging up from 22nd in the rankings to number 14 is the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick sure didn't take last year's losing season well. All he did was re-sign Cam Newton before bringing in Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Nelson Aguilar, and Kendrick Bourne to fix the league's worst pass-catching unit. Trent Brown was reacquired too in a trade with Vegas. Belichick also bolstered the D by signing Matthew Judon, Jalen Mills, and old friend Kyle Van Noy. Suddenly, the Pats look like legitimate playoff contenders again, but it'll probably come down to the play of Cam. The Indianapolis Colts move up from 16 to 13. Following Phillip Rivers' retirement, the Colts had one major task: find a new starting quarterback. Mission accomplished. Carson Wentz was acquired via trade and should bounce back under Frank Reich, who previously served as his offensive coordinator in Philly. Wentz will have plenty of help as the Colts' rushing attack and offensive line are among the best in the league. If Wentz can't perform in this situation, then nothing's going to be able to help this guy. Moving down 5 spots from 7 to 12 is the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks should be a playoff team in 2021 as long as Russell Wilson doesn't get traded. But nope, they will not be a 12-win club nor the NFC West champions. Other than retaining Carlos Dunlap, the Seahawks did nothing to improve a struggling defense. Top cornerback Shaquille Griffin left in free agency, and they moved on from Jarran Reed, who finished second on the team in sacks last season. At least they acquired Gabe Jackson to kinda upgrade the offensive line, but a lot more work needs to be done if Seattle is going to build off a 12-win 2020 season. Coming in at number 11 is the Washington football team, moving up from 14. Washington won 7 games last season, which was enough to claim the NFC East Division crown. Next up, it's time to make the jump to Super Bowl contender status, and they're on the right track. The offense was upgraded with the signing of Curtis Samuel, who will serve as a great complement to Terry McLaurin, and Ryan Fitzpatrick will be a nice improvement compared to their previous quarterback situation. The secondary lost Ronald Darby, but they found a grade A replacement in William Jackson, who should flourish in Ron Rivera's defense. Still at number 10 is the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees retired, and the Saints had to cut ties with several key veterans in order to get under the cap. This team won 12 games with a banged-up Brees and utility man Taysom Hill at QB. Re-signing Jameis Winston was a smart move. If he cuts down on the turnovers, the Saints' offense should be just fine. The Miami Dolphins move up 3 spots from 12 to 9. The Dolphins needed to fix the supporting cast for Tua Tagovailoa, and signing Will Fuller to a 1-year deal accomplished that goal. And they're also in great position to land another key piece at the draft, following a couple of big trades with the Eagles and Niners. So far, GM Chris Grier is looking like the MVP of the offseason. Moving up 1 spot from 9 to 8 is the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers were hit hard by injuries last season, so improvement is inevitable regardless of what offseason moves they made. Re-signing Trent Williams was huge. Then they made a trade with the Dolphins to move up to the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and it looks like Kyle Shanahan has his next franchise QB in mind. Previously at number 6, now coming in at number 7 is the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens lost several key starters this offseason, but there's too much star power on both sides of the ball to worry about regression. The Sammy Watkins pickup will help. If they can just snatch another pass catcher in the draft, Lamar Jackson may finally have a competent unit to work with. Moving up 2 spots from 8 to 6 is the Cleveland Browns. Coming off an 11-win season and a trip to the divisional round, the Browns wasted no time making upgrades. The secondary was the main weakness, so they signed 2 former Rams, safety John Johnson and cornerback Troy Hill. These Browns are ready to roll. Remaining at number 5 in our rankings is the Green Bay Packers. Another lackluster offseason for the Pack. Sure, they re-signed Aaron Jones, but the defense hasn't seen any notable additions. There still isn't a quality number 2 receiving option to help Devontae Adams, and the O-line just lost Corey Linsley in free agency. Aaron Rodgers will have to mask the many flaws on this team as usual, but at the moment they definitely look worse than the team that reached last year's NFC title game. Still at number 4 is the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams made 3 postseason appearances and got to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, but his shaky play became too much for Sean McVay. Imagine the possibilities with Matthew Stafford in the fold, who should take this offense to the next level. Not to mention the Rams had the league's best defense last season. If it weren't for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Rams would totally look like the team to beat in the NFC. Remaining at number 3 is the Buffalo Bills. Emmanuel Sanders was a great add to this explosive Buffalo offense, but it's the D that must step up following unexpected regression in just about every aspect. Buffalo didn't do much in free agency to address the pass rush or run defense. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane obviously believe that their current roster can rebound. The Kansas City Chiefs stay at number 2. The Chiefs bolstered their pass rush with the signing of Jarran Reed, who will give much needed support to Chris Jones in the middle. Losing Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz definitely hurts, but the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and will find a way to make it work. And the Joe Thuney signing will help fix the O-line that was exposed big time in the Super Bowl. And still at number 1 in our power rankings is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All the defending champs really had to do was bring as much of the band back as possible, like re-signing Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Rob Gronkowski, Chris Godwin, and Leonard Fournette. The Bucs also extended Tom Brady's contract, officially clinching by far the best offseason of them all. That does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know in the comments what you think of our power rankings and if you would make any changes. And if you enjoyed this video, we would really appreciate it if you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to TPS, and ring the notification bell so you know exactly when TPS is dropping some new content, because we put out videos like this every single day. So that does it for this video, and I will see you guys next time.